All right, daryl, Lawson live coming to you from Southern California here. Happy Thursday afternoon, October 18th, 2018. All right, Trump wants to bring the military in to stop the immigrants heading from Central America. Here's an interesting article from scmp.com. What's that? Exactly. I like to get articles from outside the mainstream media here in the U.S. to get a different look and a different view and hopefully some truth for a change. Yeah. Here's a headline. Trump, U.S. military will shut Mexico border to stop illegal immigration. Daryl, what do you think of that? Well, I think that Trump is thinking outside the box. I think that Trump is trying to do things that other presidents wouldn't even talk about. Well, why? Because Trump's not part of the deep state. He's not part of the secret society. So the other presidents for the last 150 years, by and large, have been run by the Vatican. And they love to go along with the old story of the New World Order. Yes, let's take away your sovereignty. Let's put everybody together in one big New World Order. Take away your rights. Take away your guns. Take away your... Yeah, it's the same old story that goes back 6,000 years. Every empire that was demonically run has done the same thing, and there's no difference today. Yeah. Listen, Trump's not against people. If you think that Trump's against people, then you're out to lunch. Yeah. Trump's against criminals coming into this country and wrecking it. Hello? And shouldn't we all be that way? But don't forget the deep state, the New World Order, run by the Vatican, which runs most governments around the world right now, and soon to run all of them. They want chaos. They want chaos in the countries. They want groups fighting groups. They want poverty. They want no jobs. Unemployment, poverty, sickness, disease, famine, earthquakes. That kind of sounds like Matthew 24, the Bible prophecies. Yeah. Well, that's because it's run by the fallen angels and demon spirits through these people called the New World Order system. Yeah. Okay, let me read this article right here, or some of it anyways, for time's sake. Trump says U.S. military will shut Mexico border to stop illegal immigration. And by the way, I think that the Democrats don't care for people. I think the Democrats, they're for the people. Since when? They lie, they speak all these promises, and they lie. I mean, right now, unemployment is being destroyed. More people got jobs now, I think, now than the last 50 years. You can tell that Trump's not part of the New World Order because he's doing the opposite of what they want to do. They want to bring the opposite of prosperity. They want to bring unemployment. Because why? Because you can control people when they're sick. You can control people when they don't have any guns. You can control people when they're in poverty. Hello? Wake up, McFly. So I like it. And he's trying to figure out what's going to work. Yeah. President insists migrants heading to the border, U.S. border, from Central America include, quote, many criminals. And some of them are carrying drugs. Yeah. U.S. President Trump said he will mobilize the U.S. military to close the border with Mexico and stop an assault, he says, on the nation by a caravan of migrants from Central America. Trump, who ran in 2016, promising to tighten U.S. immigration laws and to end the inflow of people entering the country illegally, has called for the cutting off of foreign aid to countries like Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador. Hey, if they do not stop the immigrants from coming. I think it's brilliant. I think it's brilliant. Why? Because I've never heard a president really talk like this. You go back and you listen to the Bushes and the Obamas and the Clintons. Right? They're always looking and promising the moon. What do you want, Mary? You want the moon, Mary? I'll give you the moon, Mary. A quote from It's a Wonderful Life. Yeah, they promise everything. They don't give you anything. They take away your rights. They bring in more laws to put more people in jail. Frivolous, irrelevant laws. Yeah, that only benefit them and their friends. Take away your sovereignty, your right. But they promise you liberty and freedom. Obama ran on transparency. He said, I'll be the most transparent U.S. administration in history. He was the worst. Trump ran in 2016 promising to tighten the U.S. immigration laws. Yeah. And he wants to call call in these countries and cut off their foreign aid. I think it's great. Yeah, I think it's beautiful, and I don't think it's working yet. He claimed on Thursday today that Democrats are backing the human movement to bolster their case for open borders and existing weak laws. Nothing wrong with immigration. It's just criminals. Listen, the deep state, the New World Order, wants to bring in criminals to bring chaos into this country. That's what they've been trying to do through all history. The fallen angels, demon spirits, through bad government. Sure. Chaos, 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 right? That's how they push the New World Order. Yeah. Quote, I am watching the Democrat Party led because they want open borders and existing weak laws assault our country by Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, whose leaders are doing little to stop this large flow of people, including many criminals from entering Mexico to the U.S. I saw some reports that Mexico said they will deport people that are doing this, but we'll see. This is what Trump tweeted today at 4:25 a.m. I'm sure glad somebody's up at 4:25. You know, where was Obama at 4:25 a.m.? Where was, past President Obama at that time in the morning? Where was Hillary Clinton when the U.S. ambassador in Libya was getting killed? And they're all sleeping and partying and ignoring on purpose. Yeah. But Trump gets up 4:25 a.m. and starts to deal with issues, real issues. Yeah. Trump went on to say, in addition to stopping all payments to these countries, which seem to have almost no control over their population, I must, in the strongest of terms, ask Mexico to stop this onslaught. And if unable to do so, I will call up the U.S. military and close our southern border, Trump said today on Twitter. You go, Trump. You go, Trump. Yeah. Well, what would you do? I think most countries already do this anyways for their borders. Sure they do. Most countries are very tough when it comes to immigration. Very, very, very tough. It's like the U.S., I think, has some of the laxest, is that even the word? If it's not a word, then yeah. You know what I'm talking about. Porous borders, yeah. And it would be great if you were getting born-again, Spirit-filled Christians. Yeah, coming to this country, born-again, Spirit-filled Christians who want to, pray for this country, work in this country, assimilate, do good into this country. But what happens if you have the opposite? What happens when you have people that just want to come here and milk the system and be a burden on the system and cause problems and cause criminal activity, et cetera, et cetera? What do you do with them? There should be a question on the immigration policy. Are you born again, Spirit-filled? Do you love Jesus? You promise to obey the Bible? Yeah. Yeah. Well, then we'll put you on a fast track for citizenship. Yeah, why not? That'll make a country great. Yeah. He said, in addition to stopping all payments to these countries, which seem to have almost no control over their population, he will call on the military to close the southern border. Yeah, he said that at 4:25 in the morning, including stopping the criminals. He said that at 4:35, 4:25, 4:35, 4:45. He said, he continued, Donald Trump on Twitter, the assault on our country at our southern border, including the criminal elements and drugs pouring in, is far more important to me as president than trade or USMCA. Hopefully Mexico will stop this onslaught at their northern border. All Democrats' fault. All Democrats' fault for weak laws, yeah. Well, our Republicans are the same as well. The Republican Party is basically the Democratic Party in different clothes. Same thing. Well, and we have to also remind everybody that the CIA brings in drugs to this country through the FBI and through, government agencies all the time and runs it around the world. U.S. government is one of the biggest drug traffickers on the planet. Oh, and everybody knows it. There's no war on drugs. No, there's a pretend war on drugs. Basically, the U.S., the Vatican through the U.S. runs the drug trades around the world. Yeah, and other countries are involved too. Most countries are involved, yeah. Another post, Trump claimed that many in the caravan coming from South America are criminals. Quote, the assault on our country at our southern border, including the criminal elements and drugs pouring in. what he said, which I read from the tweet. Trump's comments came as he has been urging fellow Republicans to make immigration a central issue in the closing weeks of their midterm election campaigns and blaming Democrats for his failure to pass immigration legislation in the GOP-controlled Congress. Trump's frustration appears to stem in part from the record levels of immigrant parents entering the U.S. with children in the 3 months since his administration ended family separation at the border. Washington, well, that's, even Melania went down to the border and said, hey, you shouldn't be separating parents from children, children from parents. I wonder how many parents that those people are actually the real parents, and if those are the real children, et cetera, or if those children are human trafficked children, human trafficking children. Very interesting. The Washington Post reported this week that Border Patrol agents arrested 16,000 plus family members in September, the highest 1 month total on record, and an 80% increase from July, according to unpublished documents from the Department of Homeland Security. Stats, some other headlines. Migrant caravan traveling through Mexico abandons plan to travel to U.S. border after infuriating Donald Trump. Well, we'll see about that. When troops were previously mobilized by Trump in response to unlawful immigration, their mission has been mostly passive support for border agents, like logistics and surveillance. Posse Comitatus Act forbids using the military for civilian law enforcement duties outside military bases in the U.S. Military officials instructed troops to alert border agents if they encountered immigrants, rather than intervene themselves except in case of self-defense. The Army also restricted the use of weapons to personnel who may need to use force. The General Accountability Office looked at Bush and Obama administration mobilization on the border and found that DHS did not understand what its military support could and could not do, which frustrated both DHS and Pentagon officials. What do you mean could not do? It's not that difficult. People are coming in like crazy. I still think this is something tied, of course, to the chaos, of course, to the deep state, but it's tied also to the fear, I think, that the Democrats and New World Order people, deep state, that are in the government and want to get in the government, I think it's tied to the election. I don't think that the deep state thinks they have enough people that are going to vote against Trump in the 2020 election. And of course, midterms, this, that, and the other. But that would take I don't think there's even time to get people in here and vote for the midterm elections. But don't forget that the groups of people that go into the U.S. illegally and are missing are always used, their names, et cetera, to elect presidents. They may not even vote. They probably don't. But so-and-so. So I'd say that I think the illegal immigration and the migrants coming, this, that, I think it's a ploy, it's a push for 2020 to shore up the votes or the numbers of votes that potentially can be struck for whoever's running against Trump. I think they were caught off guard in 2016 because they didn't expect Trump to win so hugely, bigly, as he calls it. I think they thought several millions of people for Hillary would actually do the job, and they were wrong, Bob. So I think the immigration really that's being pushed, like right now, through different countries, through Mexico to the U.S., is really an attempt by the New World Order to push more people in the U.S. just for the election, to corrupt the election, to get millions and millions more so that they won't be caught with their pants down and they don't want Trump reelected. Is that too simplified or is that too complicated? I think it makes sense. We see articles and news after news, years after years, how dead people vote, right? Illegal immigrants vote. Even the DMV, the Department of Motor Vehicles, registers illegal immigrants or immigrants with no status to vote. What's that all about? Why would the government even do that? Why would DMV do that? Well, because they want to ensure that their candidate that they pick gets in for the U.S. presidency. and other areas as well. Sure. They want to do away with the electoral college because they say, well, we'll just get the bigger states, we'll corrupt the bigger states, and then it's the majority rules. Democracy is majority, but yet the U.S. is a republic. So the electoral college, if I understand it correctly, brings fairness to the states in elections. Yeah, people would like to, I think the deep state would like to get rid of the electoral college and just go for a popular vote. So the biggest states can vote, and then it doesn't really matter who else votes. It takes away really the power of the 50 states. Yeah. So I think it's protection. I think the electoral college and the popular vote are protection, levels of protection for this country. Leave it alone. Don't remap it. Leave it the way it is, which gives every country a fair chance to vote and go to the polls. Yeah. And so it's not just the majority rules. And by the way, speaking about 2016 election, not only did Trump win the electoral college, but he also won the popular vote. And if you don't know that, you haven't researched that as well. Yeah. And they were taken off guard. Hillary and her campaign and her people funding her, which is George Soros going all the way back to the Vatican. They were caught off guard. They didn't think that Obama's, stumping. He's going out. He's going to go out and he's going to go for Hillary and get everybody. Yeah. They thought for sure Trump wouldn't get the votes. They got Obama, got Biden. I mean, why would anybody have Biden? Biden is saying that he wants to run for 2020. Is that a joke? I mean, it's got to be a joke. I mean, they must be scraping the bottom of the barrel. Yeah, he doesn't have a hope in hell to win. I don't see anybody that's a threat to Trump, and I don't think there will be. Time will tell, and I think we're barreling toward 2020. So I love it, and Trump is still having his rallies, which again, like I did a video on that, Trump rallies are bringing more and more power to him, and from the people to the people, for the people, every week. And he's not holding back, he's going forward, which is great. I love it, which is giving him power to bypass the fake news, bypass the mainstream media, and get to the people. And I think if things continue the same way they've been going with Trump, I think he's going to have a landslide 100-fold bigger than 2016. And nobody can stop him, and they're scared. So what are they going to do? Well, let's bring in people to this country from other nations and just pour them in through the border. I don't think they're going to stop. Because even if you do bring in the military, what happens if there's millions of people that just rush the border? Millions. The U.S. military will not be able to stop millions of people. I do expect the deep state, the New World Order, to bring possibly millions of people up from every country you can imagine through Mexico into the U.S. for the 2020 election. To try to use them, well, of course, to bring chaos and disruption, but also to bring illegal voters, or at least, even if they don't vote, use their names. Wow, we have a group of because they do that. Dead people vote, they say. Illegal immigrants vote, and they try to skewer the votes, the numbers, any way they can. So I think this is part of it, and I think they're getting desperate, and I think that's why we're seeing this migrant exodus from other countries right now through, or trying to get through, Mexico into the U.S. I think a big part of it is for the 2020 election votes. What do you think about that, Bob? What do you think about that? Trump today, president threatens to deploy military. Let's take a look at that one. You don't hear too many articles by Market Watch, so I like to use other alternative media websites. This came out today as well. Trump today, president threatens to deploy military to close border. President Trump, again, this is basically reiterating, threatened Thursday today to call up U.S. military and close the border with Mexico. Close the border. That's kind of interesting because that's going to disrupt trade. That's going to hurt Mexico. Maybe it's Trump's thinking about that to, hey, Mexico, you're not going to listen to me? Well, you will. As he met with Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, which I really don't care for that guy, to be honest with you, amid the disappearance and suspected murder of Saudi journalist. Listen, if you haven't seen my videos yet, I did a video yesterday on should USA support Saudi Arabia if they dismember journalists. Eesh. What's going on there? This is nothing new. I'm just glad that it's coming out. Yeah. You can see all my other thousands of videos that are linked to my website, daryllawsonlive.com or daryllawson.com. Get you to the same place. I talk about Stormy Daniels being called horseface. Melania Trump interview on ABC 2018 and beyond. Over 3,000 videos I have linked on my website. Yeah. All right, back to this one here. He met with Secretary of State Mike Pompeo as well. And that Saudi Arabian journalist, I wouldn't say debacle, but I'd say expose. I'd say uncovering is happening. It's creepy. It's creepy. Saudi Arabia is one of the biggest terrorist regime governments on the planet. Border threat. On Twitter, Trump said, if Mexico isn't able to stop an onslaught, I will call up the U.S. military and close our southern border. Trump has ramped up his rhetoric, they say, about border security this week, calling the subject a great issue for Republicans. I just wish that people just wouldn't talk about and categorize people as Democrats or Republicans. How about just Americans? How about people? A great issue with the November 6th midterm elections fast approaching. He also raised this, or the prospect of using the military to secure the border back in April, which I mentioned, yeah. This threat comes as a so-called caravan of Central Americans is traveling north with apparent plans to reach the U.S. border, yeah. So the article just goes on to talk about the Saudi Arabian meeting with Secretary of State Pompeo, which I love the fact that Saudi Arabia finally is under a spotlight. They need to be under a spotlight, Saudi Arabia. They need to be under a microscope and to realize what's going on. Oh yeah, Trump needs to investigate these countries that were involved with 9/11, with the U.S. government. He needs to, but there's so much to do. Trump needs to investigate the Federal Reserve. I mean, everything was broken when Trump came in. Yeah, it's not like 1, 2, 3 things only. There was like, everything was broken. Tell me what wasn't broken in the U.S. government, in the U.S. But I love the fact, I love the fact that Trump is doing what other U.S. presidents would never say or do. They wouldn't think of talking like this. That's why Trump has the favor with the people. You say, well, he called that woman a horse face. There's a lot worse he could have called Stormy Daniels. I think he showed restraint. Wasn't the nicest thing you could say to Stormy Daniels, but he's ticked off with her. And I think 99.9% of all people would have called her something worse. So I'm not going to jump on his back. Actually, I did a video on that. You can watch my video on that, yeah. Anyway, it's all out. PoliticalWire.com, Washington Post, Townhall.com. It's everywhere. TheHill.com, Roll Call. It's all over. Sputnik News. Let's see what the Russians are saying. Oh, the Russians will kick you in the face if you try to do something on their borders, yeah. Oh, let's read from Sputnik News. Ooh, this is the Russian website. Why not? Probably a lot more accurate than CNN, ABC, MSNBC. Says the same thing here, that Twitter, Trump's on Twitter saying that these immigrants are coming. Migrants, they're called. Russia is saying here on their website. basically what the other articles are saying, yeah. Previously, the U.S. president threatened to shut down the federal government if Congress refused to support his administration's demand on border security and a wall along the border with Mexico. Yeah. Building a wall on the country's southern border to stop drug trafficking and illegal immigration was one of Trump's key pre-election promises. So even the Russians are talking about this. Listen, Mexico has a wall on their border, southern border. The Vatican has a wall around their country. I don't hear anybody complaining about the Vatican's wall. The walls are evil. Even though the Pope stands up and says that the walls are evil and that Trump's not a Christian. What about you? Yeah, you hypocrite. Yeah. Daryl, don't you love Catholics? Did I say I don't love Catholics? I just don't like corruption. It seems like the religious people are the most on the earth, are some of the worst hypocrites on the planet. I tell people, forget about religion, come to Jesus. I say, forget about religion and come to Jesus. Jesus Christ, the Messiah, is returning very, very soon. You know, I saw 2 Jewish ladies today. I went to Costco and I bought myself some celery. I do juice, juicing in the morning. Celery, apples, carrots. I saw 2 little Jewish women. I wasn't even paying attention to them. I was in line waiting to get, checked out and doing stuff on my social media on my smartphone. And so they end up talking to me. Oh, what are you doing? Are you looking up groceries on your phone? I said, no, actually, I'm just doing, texts and social media. And so as I'm putting my organic carrots, my organic apples, my organic celery there on the belt to go into to be cashiered up, right? Yeah, checked out. And I said, look, I got all organic carrots. They go, oh, yeah, we go organic too, she said. Then the lady looks to me and says, I didn't know she was Jewish. She told me she was Jewish. She says to me, the lady in front. She said, so they were obviously telling the lady in front of them who was checking out before them, was talking about organic, and the lady, I guess, wasn't buying organic. And so the Jewish leaders are telling me what the lady in front said, and they said that the lady in front said, well, the Lord will protect me, from buying GMO foods. I'm going to buy, I don't have to, this Christian lady in front of them said, well, I'm not buying organic. Well, the Lord will protect me. And I looked at those 2 ladies and I said, why is it that so many Christians are so dumb? And they laughed. And they said, yeah, we agree. So I didn't know they were Jewish yet until, they told me a few moments later. I said, but, I am one of the smart Christians. They said, well, we're Jewish. I said, that's okay. Jesus is Jewish. I said, the New Testament was written by Jews. Yeah, 99% of the New Testament is written by Jews. I said, so, it's not a Gentile book. So I blame the Jews for writing the New Testament. They look at me. Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. Well, as Christians, as born-again, spirit-filled Christians, we should be the smartest people on the earth. I think a lot of the so-called Christians that are in name only are giving Christianity a bad name. What's new? What's new? What's new, pussycat? I tell people, get born again, get spirit-filled. Jesus, wash my sins away, fill me with your Holy Spirit. Get in the Bible and do it. Do it. And then watch my videos, darylawson.com, and help you to understand what's going on in all these subjects and go forward, not backwards. Yeah. I wish I had this when I was a kid. I found a Bible in the street when I was 10 and a half, 11, and it took me a while to study the scriptures on my own because the Catholic priests weren't going to tell me anything like that. Yeah. They were too busy molesting people in my school. Yeah. In which I escaped and never went back. Yeah. So I prayed for those ladies. As I was leaving, I said, have a great day, ladies. I said, remember what I said. And then she turns to me and says, don't forget to vote. That's what she said. I said, don't forget to vote. I said, yeah, hey, I never forget. And I said, don't forget what I said to you. So obviously, she said, well, they both said together, two sisters. Well, they must have been in their 70s or 80s. They said, well, we voted Democrat our whole life. I said, don't forget what I told you about the New Testament. She looked at me. And as I was walking back to my car, I started to pray for them. Oh, Lord, break the mind-blinding spirits off of them. Oh, Lord, break the mind-blinding spirits out of their lives. Lord, Holy Spirit, have your way in their lives. If we don't pray, if we don't intercede, who's going to do that? Ask and you shall receive, seek and you shall find, knock on the door shall be opened, not only for yourself, but for them. It'd be a shame to live 70, 80, 90, 100 years on the earth and not see the benefits and see Jesus Christ the Messiah paid his life's blood for your freedom. You want a good country? You want a good nation? You want help on the earth? Go to Jesus. Yeah, not religion. All right, so like I said, get born again, get spirit-filled, stay born again, stay spirit-filled, watch my videos, pass this video to other people. I'm going to take a quick break here and do another show here in a moment. All right, I have over 3,000 videos. They're going around the world. We don't have much time left. Like I said, I keep on saying that Jesus Christ the Messiah is about to return. All the Bible prophecies, or end-time Bible prophecies, are being fulfilled. Jesus is about to return. The Great Tribulation will happen right after that. 48 months plus of hell on the earth, led by the Antichrist and the false prophet. By the way, Barack Hussein Obama is the Antichrist, if you don't know that. And Pope Francis, the first Jesuit priest, is the false prophet, shown in the book of Revelation, chapter 13. Yeah, well, but you can see all my videos on that. We're just at the sliver of time before the return of Jesus. So, of course, these things have to happen. Of course, we see wars and rumors of wars. Of course, we see the heads of the beast system, the New World Order, raising and rising up and trying to control and put all their ducks in order. The good news is... oh, that's Amazon. Thank you, Ani. Oh, it's my little... thank you, Ani. Onyx. Don't scare the Amazon guy. I ordered more colloidal silver. Ooh, if you don't know... Ani, don't scare him. Go sit down, lie down. Who needs an alarm, right? Colloidal silver. Oh, we should, like the book of Daniel says, that the Christians are people that know Jesus, the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Daniel did. The prophet Daniel, the book of Daniel, he was 10 times smarter than anybody around. We should be that way. I just ordered some colloidal silver, new bottles of colloidal silver. It's so great. You ever had dogs have little scratches or scrapes? There's in a gel form, oral form. I mean, it's so good. Colloidal silver is a miracle product, yeah. I heard that it even takes care of these crazy diseases like Ebola. And they don't want you to know about that. Yeah. So do your own research, my friend. What's wrong with some silver, right? Yeah. What did Peter say at the gate? Silver and gold have I none, but colloidal silver I'll give unto you. What did he say? I know. He said, in the name of Jesus Christ, rise up and walk, be healed. Yeah. And a great time to be alive. This technology we can use to help spread the truth, not mainstream media fake news, and not religion, to the ends of the earth just before the return of Jesus. Nobody has an excuse. If you're stupid, ignorant, and dumb in 2018 and beyond, it's because you want to be, not because there's not availability. All right, I'm out of here. My website, darylawsonlive.com. Don't forget to go there, pass the video to other people. Thanks for your prayers and financial support. I do have a donation button on my website. God will bless you for it. Tithing is of God, my friend. Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 to 12. All right? And I'm telling you everything in the Bible that I can as fast as I can to help you to be prosperous, spirit, soul, and body, preserved to the return of Jesus. Yeah. Jesus died that you may have life and have life abundantly. I'm out of here. I'll see you later. God bless you. Keep up the good work. Bye for now.